Hi there and good morning. It's my day off today, so I thought I'd do another video from you. So welcome to Art Through a Lens. And I've just been through my Lightroom images. I just went for a walk along the coast the other day, through some wildflowers, and that's where I got my latest butterfly pictures from and things. And I've just come across this, and I like everything about it apart from the side shoots. All I'm wanting is the top and the main stem, because the others I find a bit distracting on there. So what I'm going to do first, before I even start to attempt to put textures over it and see what the outcome is, I'm going to go to my lasso tool and I'm going to just hopefully remove these. Okay, so get as close as you can to remove them. And then I'm going to just right click inside the marching ants and click fill. Content aware is showing on there, 100% opacity, and click OK, and fingers crossed to see if it does a really good job or not. So we will soon see. So yeah, it's not done a bad job there. So get rid of that one there as well. Right click, fill, content aware, OK. And that bit that it left behind, fill, content aware, OK. And then just do it again from the other side. So as close as you can to that, go around that. And right click, fill, content aware, OK. And it's just left another little bit behind, which is no problem at all because we'll be able to get rid of that quite easy. It doesn't matter about these little smudgy bits either. You can try and make it a bit clearer, but we'll be adding textures over that anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So yes, so I've got the main things off, the stems, so it's Control and D to end your selection there. Now I've been talking to a lot of people, and I've had some really useful like things given to me by Linda, who's from one of my photography groups, and she loves Photoshop. She knows it inside out, and she gave me tips on how to do clipping. And at first I didn't understand what clipping was, because obviously I'm new to Photoshop myself really, and I'll try and show you what it does today. And it just, I think it makes it just slightly different, where you can actually change not all your colours of your layers or textures that you've placed on, but you can just change the one you've just put on, and it doesn't affect the others. So I will show you that today. I've also learnt something else as well, but I'm going to apply some textures first, because I want to get the background texture just right first, okay? So bear with me, because I'm still new at it and I'm still learning it myself. So bring up my textures, and all I'm thinking about now is the background for this, okay? So let's try that one. So rotate it anti-clockwise and bring it to size. I mean, and I've learned that you can double click in the blending modes there, and you can actually just use your wheel on your mouse to actually scroll through them all. But I suppose, yeah, you can still see the differences. So I'll do that, because I've learned it and I want to keep it so I know what I'm doing. So it's a bit quicker instead of getting the list all down. So that's darken. That's multiply. That's colour burn, and so on. So you can see me scrolling down there. And I'm just after a background texture that I like. I do like hard light. I do like that one, vivid light. Okay, so I think I'll choose hard light. Okay, so I can actually go on to choose on the circle there, which is, I'll show you the circle, it's half and half in colour, and you can go, I think I'll go on the use saturation, and I'll just see what does this just change in the colour slightly. But this is where I'll show you now what the clipping tool does. This is before applying a clipping tool. Obviously I've chosen that texture there over my image. So when I change colour, it changes my image, my flower head with it as well. So what I want to do is click on this here, which will now show as that's been clipped to that texture there. So now when I change it, it will only really affect the background. You see, so it's not really changing that much there. I don't know, I like the greens. But reduce that saturation slightly. Okay, so I'll go on to another one. I'll go on that one. Just playing about as usual. Don't have an idea in my head about this one. I've got no idea what I'm going to do, or even if it's going to turn out right. I might actually do a video for you that it doesn't work because it's still early for me. But there you go. So double click in your blending mode now, scrolling down, and see if anything works or shoots out to you. That's really nice. That's quite subtle, isn't it? That soft light. I like the soft, oh, that's nice as well. I like that one. That's nice. Hard light. So I'll keep it on hard light. Okay. Now, because I like that background and I'm quite happy with what I've got there, I want to bring that flower head out on the stem more. So what I've just been watching on YouTube, as I learn everything from YouTube or any hints I get from fellow photographers, I found out that if you group these three now, so my top one, my adjustment layer and my first texture, but not my image. So I liked that one at first and then hold down shift and click that one. It will highlight then all three. Okay, and then Control G to group them. So you've made a group now. Now what I'm going to do is you uncheck the group. So there. So then now you click on your image. And what I want to do is cut out that flower stem really. And I found a really easy way to do it. Especially, it's not really, 100%. It doesn't cut out every little bit. But because I'm using textures, it really doesn't matter for me. It doesn't have to be precise. But it's just a quick way. It's a good starting tool to get you going. So there you go on the quick selection tool. So you've grouped them all together, and now you're clicking on your picture there, and then you click on your quick selection tool. You have your middle brush. I don't know what these are for, but on the tutorial this is how they did it, so this is why I do it. They chose the middle brush and select subject. And now what Photoshop does is it chooses all, that stem. And I've tried it with everything as well. I've tried it with anything you put on there. If it's a person, a tree, a house, two people together, it just knows to select the object that you're wanting it to select. You don't have to think, oh, it's left one person out or something. It actually does select what you're wanting. Okay, so what I do now is you're going to add a layer mask. Okay, so obviously it shows then like that. So what I want it to do is drag it to under the group. So I've now placed it under the group. I want to click on that there, and I want to press Control and I. I'm using Windows. I don't know what it is on a Mac. It's Control and I to invert it. And then click that on. And it's brought it now to the top of that layer. Yes, we've got some pieces there that shouldn't really be there, but that's fine because I can now add another layer, and I'll try and disguise that. So I can always, let's see, I'll add that layer again, that texture layer. When it plays, there you go. And then hopefully it will. And then I'll just click in my blend modes again. See, there's some lovely, lovely ones. I like that because it's more subtle. But I'm thinking, what am I going to do about those? I really don't know now. Bear with me, I'm going to try and figure it out. Because obviously I don't want that background. And it's cut out some of the blurred background. So, if I click on that maybe, and then click on another layer mask, do you think that'll get rid of that? Maybe if I turn it to white, maybe it will. Yes, it will. Haha, I worked that out all by myself, look. Right, so I don't care if it's blurring it a little bit. So what I did there, I had to use my brain, which is really hard, but because I cut it cut out some of the background. And I've added a layer to try and hide that, which it really didn't work. So I thought, well, usually when you have to get rid of something, you add a layer mask there, and you actually then remove the underneath. So because that's obviously black on white, I've got to now, because I want some removed, I've got to use white to remove it. So that's what I'm doing. So you don't have to have it, the opacity as high up if you don't want. It's just to get rid of some of those really dark green blurry bits in the front. So you just work your way around, just deleting them really. Don't matter about you making it a bit softer. Okay, the main ones was that really. So if I zoom out, that's a lot better. And just dab in the dark places just to get that on. It softens it up there. Okay, so you go back on that, and you can change that again still if you're not happy with that, because we've got rid of all the the dark bits now from behind. I do like that actually. Let's scroll up. Just showing you really. I mean, I've only learnt it myself in the last day or so. So I'm still practicing all the time. But I do like that. Really like that. So that's soft light. I do like that one though as well. Let's see if I add another mask onto that. Make my brush bigger. A bit black on white now because I want to reveal the crispness of the flower head there. And take that layer off the top. I am opacity a bit just to bring out more of that colour. And I do like that, it's lovely, absolutely lovely. I don't know if I need to, well I can always try another like texture because it's only been a short video. I've just done a really nice image. So yeah, that's absolutely lush. I love it. That's gorgeous. And that was from starting from as you saw, cutting out some branches to make that really the focal point, and you only focus on that. And then you get a lovely colourful background. And I think that's absolutely lush. So, I mean, what you can do, you can click on the circle below. There'll probably be a right name for that. Let's see if it shows me. Adjustment layer. It's an adjustment layer, everybody. I will learn all my correct phrases and terms. So use saturation, let's just see, and I'm going to clip it. So this is my clipping thing again now. So I'm going to clip that, and I'm just going to change any colours, see if anything changes a little bit. You can see slight changes at the top mostly there. So it's whatever you're wanting in there, and you can put more colour in like that. You see it doesn't affect the flower, or you can take some colour out, or you can darken the areas or lighten the area. It's entirely up to you, but I think I like it about +8 there. So you've got some like red tones, orange tones, some purple tones, but that still stands out. You can also as well go onto your blend mode while you're on the clipping mode as well, and change that as well. I'll just show you that's normal, so I'll go back to normal, but that changes it as well. So it gives you different effects when you're on the clipping mode. So you can always like choose something else when you've selected clipping, and you can go on the blend modes again, and it'll show you different things. Obviously those are no good, but on the ones like this, you know, it just adds something else because it's only changing the colours. Look at that one. If you wanted more, you know, dramatic texture in there, just on the edges, you could do that. But I think I'm going to leave it as normal there because I like that one. Now we will just because I like playing, just choose another texture. Let's just see. Even though I love that, if this doesn't work, I've lost nothing because I can just delete it off and just keep this one. It's all the decisions that you've got to make. So just scroll through any textures that you may have. And just see if anything brings anything to that image. try that concrete one. Might just put some lines in there, some more background texture. So double click in your blending mode and wheel down with your, and just see what texture you like. So that's quite a nice one, but I'm not sure if it just takes it away then from the flower, but it is lovely, isn't it? That's overlay, and that's your soft light. So your soft light is a bit nice, isn't it? Oh, there you go. I might choose soft light. And then a layer mask. And then opacity. Yeah, just 97%, just to bring that detail out again. So that texture layer isn't actually covering my stem. Make my brush smaller and then just follow the stem down. Just taking all that last texture off there. So I've only got the background. Right to 100%, flow up to 100. Just to make sure all these bits here are standing out. That's lovely. That's gorgeous. So what I'm going to do now, Control Shift Alt and E all together. You need, I have to use two hands because I've only got little fingers. So it's Control Shift Alt and E, and that just merges them all together on there. So then that'll allow me now to go into Filter, Camera Raw Filter, because it's a raw file. It's come from Lightroom over to Photoshop, so it's still in RAW. So you can make more changes when you're in RAW. So I can put the vibrance up if I wanted to, or reduce it. Oh, I just like everything. I like it without, like, just a simple bit of colour. I like it with a lot more colour. It's so hard to choose sometimes. Put the highlights down. Just wiggle things about. See what you prefer, really. So that's okay. Bring the highlights up because I know it's clipping at the top there. But it just lights it up just a little bit, doesn't it? So just go to just under clipping there. A bit of contrast as well, just so you don't want too much because that's what it does. Just +5 on there. And then what I like to do is sharpen this. So I'll sharpen quite a lot. You can see how much you're sharpening if you can hold down your Alt key and then click on your mask there. Scroll up. Now obviously I only want to really apply contrast to the actual flower. So that's at 98, that's more or less at the end. So I'll choose that, and your detail, you can put that up. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. That just picks out the detail a little bit more and gives more contrast. And that's the radius. So that's going to give more contrast there. So I'll just zoom in just to see. Yeah, so that's lovely. And it's looking really, really nice. I'm quite happy with this. Bit of noise reduction, not too much. And then on HSL there, you can always tone down a colour that you don't want. So if I didn't want the purples in the corner, I could just move them down, all the pinks and purples, and it takes the tinge out of it a little bit. It'll just pick some tones out of your textures in your picture if you didn't want them, or you wanted to increase, like say, blues. It's only subtle changes, as you can see there. but it can make a difference. Like your yellows, you'll see it big time with your yellows. So if I didn't want any yellows in there and just the other colours, I could do that. I'll just keep that to about there. Your orange is the same, brings it out, but that's what your flower head is. So if you wanted a black and white flower head on a coloured canvas, you could do that. But I want to put that to about there. And you just keep going on everyone, all the way up and all the way down, so you can see what change, if any, that will make. And you've got your hue there, and you've got your luminance as well, so you can change anything you like. Okay, so that's what that does. So you can see the big difference. So put those back. And I don't think I need to change anything on there. There's only a little bit of blue in there. Right, so now if you wanted to do something else, you could, there's your tools up here as well, with your graduated filter. So you can darken the underneath, or you can actually do a radial filter to make either dark on the outside or light on the inside. So you can give it effects. There's also an effect here where you could add that if you wanted, or a white one, and then you can feather it. So if you wanted it just slightly darker, that's your roundness there, and then feather that out. Your midpoint, that's what that does, your midpoint. So it's like focusing on that. So yeah, I quite like it a little bit dark at the sides. So press OK to that. So that now is working, and that's changed that. So if I zoom in, you can see it's really, really sharp, but you've got your background colour as well. So what I always do now, because I'm quite happy with that, I might just do an adjustment levels. Let's see what this gives me, just to too bright that. And I like it like that because it's more bit of an happy medium, too dark. So it's just playing about really to see what you like yourself. And then once you're happy with your image, as always, I flatten my image. So I've got that there. And then image canvas size. I've been choosing 3x3 lately instead of my normal 2.5, just to make my border a bit thicker. And then that puts a frame around it. So that's all you've got to do. And that was just a simple image, which looked really rubbish on a photo because of the other sticks hanging about, you know. So I got rid of those and just focused on that. And two new things I actually learned was to use the quick selection tool to select what I need cutting out, invert that so it's not always covered by a texture layer instead of just covering it, you know, when you're getting loose edges. So it does a pretty good job. And then your clipping tool is awesome because you don't have to change everything on there. So sometimes when you put on another texture, you're losing what you did like about the previous one. So the clipping tool, it makes, by clipping it to the underlying layer, it just makes it so you're only changing the one that you've just recently put on. You can change the colour or the opacity and things like that, and it won't affect the other ones below. So hope you've enjoyed this quick video. I think it's been quick. It feels quick because I don't seem to have used as much textures as I usually do. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's just a simple image. It won't be to everyone's taste, but it's just nice to just, even if it's not going to be commercial or it's not good enough to sell to anybody, or it's just practice. It's practicing all the time. And I don't think there's any time really that I've not been able to make an image. Yes, it's not a wow one. But it's still an image, and I might not be happy with it, but a lot of people might think, oh, that's gorgeous, that would look lovely framed in my hall. But it's just not my 100% wow factor. But no, it's a simple image and it's really, really nice, and it'd look absolutely beautiful framed, I think, that one. So you could always as well add a butterfly if you want to, or a bee. I've got some butterflies actually. Let me see. I know I was just going to end there, but just apply. Let me have a look at the proper term, a new layer. So you're looking for a new layer where it's a checkerboard pattern above that. Go on your brushes and find, I do have them somewhere. And there's loads of effects you could put. You could even put a slight fog haze over it and things like that just to soften the edges. There's loads you can try. So I've got some butterflies here. And it's just to give you an example, really. I don't know if I'm going to keep mine on. But I've got that one. See, that would look lovely in that dark area showing up there. But I need to choose the right colour. And I find this the hardest bit because I never know what colour looks the best. So if I choose that, say, go back to my pen and then click that. No. So I can go on colour and I can go darker to that. So there, and try that one. That's too dark. And it's just playing about because you don't want it too light and you don't want it too dark. That's okay, I think. Let's just see. If I apply a layer mask there, then go on the brush, click the soft brush, make that smaller, and then just, no, that actually gets rid of it, doesn't it? See, I'm still learning. So if I go on white there, would that bring any colour through? I don't think it does. But you can always add colour into it if you want it. So I'll just delete that. Delete that. Go back again. Find my butterflies. I know they were there somewhere. You get my drift anyway. You can just try anything that you think is going to work, or it might not work. It might actually spoil the look of it. But it's worth giving it a try. I just didn't think that butterfly went with that colour really. So it's just like playing about. Yeah, they are. And just seeing what works with what. Let's try that one. So you can even have a bigger butterfly. Choose a colour. Let's see. What about that colour? Because there's lots of colours in here, you see. You don't know what to choose. Let's see what that'd look like. And it just doesn't look real. And even if it was there, it's totally blown out. So you'd have to go lighter. But then it just doesn't go with that image. So you just keep trying different colours. Pure white maybe. So no, I think I'll keep the butterfly off. But it's just to show you that you can always try and put anything on that you think may work, or you could have cut out a proper butterfly instead of being a Photoshop brush. And you can actually, don't know how to do it myself, but you can always then put a butterfly onto there and make it look absolutely beautiful. So yes, I'll need to learn that for future references. But no, I've added a couple of these butterflies on things, and it's quite worked, but it's not working with this image because there's far too many colours for it to show up and look a bit more realistic. But obviously you could do it and apply more textures over it and things like that, and it'd blend in a little bit more as well. But yeah, I'll leave that for now. I'm going to name it as usual. That's the hardest thing as well to do, name them. But that's the finished result there. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click a tick. Put the thumbs up on my video. And also subscribe if you want to watch all my videos and get notified when I'm going to be making any more, when any more's gone up there. Okay? Any questions, just please message me and I'll try and answer them if I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye now.